Most gardeners think November means the end of planting season. But the Amish have been quietly growing 15 incredible vegetables in November that you've probably never even heard of. These aren't your typical winter crops. These are forgotten heirlooms that can transform your garden and your table. After 40 years of studying traditional gardening methods, I've discovered these Amish secrets produce harvests when everyone else's gardens are dormant. Today, I'm sharing all 15 must-grow November vegetables the Amish kept to themselves for generations. Pay attention to number 8 because it's ready faster than you'd believe. And the bonus tip reveals an Amish storage secret that keeps vegetables fresh all winter without electricity. Our first November vegetable the Amish have been growing for centuries is the ground cherry, also called husk tomato. This incredible little fruit wrapped in papery husks is one of the best-kept secrets in Amish gardens, and varieties like Aunt Molly's and Cossack pineapple are perfect for zones 4 through 8. What makes ground cherries so special for November planting is they actually prefer cooler soil temperatures for germination, something most modern gardeners never realize. The Amish traditionally start these indoors in November for transplanting in early spring. But in milder zones, you can direct sow them now under cold frames. These golden fruits taste like a cross between pineapple and tomato, and once established, they'll self-sow year after year, just like they do in Amish gardens. Ground cherries produce heavily, with a single plant yielding up to 2 pounds of fruit that stores for months in their natural husks. The plants are incredibly resilient to pests and diseases, requiring almost no maintenance once they're growing. For November planting, prepare your soil with plenty of compost and plant seeds about 1/4 inch deep, keeping them consistently moist until germination. The Amish value these not just for fresh eating, but for their incredible preserves and pies that taste nothing like anything you'll find in stores. The second forgotten vegetable we need to talk about is Salsify, what the Amish call oyster plant. This remarkable root vegetable with its distinctive oyster flavor when cooked is virtually unknown in modern gardens, yet the Mammoth Sandwich Island variety has been a staple in Amish root cellars for generations. Salsify thrives in zones 4 through 8 and actually requires a long, cool growing season, making November the perfect planting time. The roots need to experience frost to develop their unique flavor, which is why spring-planted Salsify never tastes as good as fall-planted crops. Plant seeds 1/2 inch deep in loose, stone-free soil that's been worked at least 12 inches deep, since these roots can grow incredibly long. The Amish trick is to plant them now and basically forget about them until next fall, when the roots will be perfectly sized and flavored. These plants are incredibly cold-hardy, surviving temperatures down to 10 degrees Fahrenheit without protection. What's fascinating is that Salsify also produces edible purple flowers and leaves if you let some plants overwinter into their second year. The roots store exceptionally well in the ground or in root cellars, providing fresh vegetables through the entire winter. Most importantly, Salsify is completely pest and disease-free, requiring zero maintenance once planted. The third November secret from Amish gardens is Hamburg parsley, also known as root parsley. Varieties like Arat and Halblange give you both flavorful roots similar to parsnips and parsley leaves for seasoning, making this one of the most practical dual-purpose crops you can grow. This incredible vegetable thrives in zones 3 through 8 and actually develops better flavor when planted in cool November soil. The Amish have grown this for generations because it provides fresh parsley leaves all winter long, even under snow, while the roots sweeten dramatically after experiencing frost. Plant seeds about 1/4 inch deep in rich, well-drained soil. And don't worry if germination seems slow, since this is completely normal for parsley family plants in cool weather. The roots grow 6 to 8 inches long and can be harvested any time after they reach finger thickness. But they're best left in the ground until you need them. Hamburg parsley is virtually pest-free and requires no special care once established, making it perfect for busy gardeners. The leaves stay green and usable even after hard freezes, providing fresh herbs when everything else in the garden is dormant. This forgotten crop stores beautifully in root cellars or can be left in the ground all winter with a thick mulch layer for protection. Now, if you're finding this video helpful so far, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps us reach more gardeners like yourself who would also find it so helpful to avoid these mistakes. All right, let's keep going. Next up is celeriac, or celery root, a vegetable the Amish have treasured for winter stews and soups. Varieties like Monarch and Brilliant produce baseball-sized roots with intense celery flavor that actually improves after frost exposure. Growing beautifully in zones 4 through 8, celeriac needs the long, cool season that November planting provides, developing its distinctive knobby roots slowly over many months. The Amish traditionally start seeds indoors in November for transplanting in early spring. But in milder climates, you can direct sow under row covers now. What makes celeriac so valuable is its incredible storage ability, lasting up to 8 months in a root cellar while maintaining perfect texture and flavor. The roots are packed with nutrients and have a creamy texture when cooked that makes them perfect for mashing with potatoes or roasting alongside other root vegetables. Plant seeds just barely covered with fine soil since they need light to germinate, keeping them consistently moist throughout the growing period. Unlike regular celery, which is notoriously difficult to grow, celeriac is surprisingly easy and forgiving once established. The Amish also use the leaves as a celery substitute in cooking, making this another dual-purpose crop worth growing. The 5th November vegetable the Amish have grown for centuries is the rutabaga, with varieties like Laurentian and American Purple Top being absolute workhorses in the garden. These hardy roots thrive in zones 3 through 9 and develop their sweet, nutty flavor only when grown in cool weather and exposed to several frosts. November planting gives rutabagas the extended cool season they need to size up properly, something spring-planted crops never achieve. The Amish value rutabagas because they store for 6 months or more in root cellars without losing quality, providing reliable nutrition through the harshest winters. Plant seeds half an inch deep in loose, fertile soil, spacing them carefully since each plant needs room to develop its large roots. These plants are incredibly pest-resistant, with their only real enemy being root maggots, which are rarely active during cool November weather. Rutabagas produce massive yields, with each plant capable of producing roots weighing 3 to 5 pounds, when given proper spacing and time. The greens are also edible and highly nutritious when harvested young, giving you another source of winter greens. What's remarkable is that rutabagas actually become sweeter the longer they're stored, improving in flavor throughout the winter months. Now we come to black salsify, or scorzonera, a root vegetable so forgotten that most gardeners have never heard of it. Varieties like Russian Giant and long black Spanish were once common in Amish gardens, prized for their black-skinned roots with white flesh that tastes remarkably like asparagus when cooked. This incredible perennial thrives in zones 4 through 8 and absolutely must be planted in cool weather to germinate properly. The Amish grow scorzonera because, unlike regular salsify, these roots can stay in the ground for 2 or even 3 years, getting larger and more flavorful with age. November planting allows the long taproot to develop slowly through winter and spring, reaching its full potential by the following fall. Plant seeds half an inch deep in deeply worked soil free of stones, as these roots can grow over a foot long in ideal conditions. Black salsify is completely maintenance-free once established, requiring no fertilization, pest control, or special care whatsoever. The roots have natural antifreeze compounds that allow them to survive the coldest winters without protection. This forgotten vegetable also produces edible yellow flowers if allowed to bloom, and the young leaves can be used in salads. The seventh Amish secret for November planting is sorrel, particularly French sorrel and red vein varieties that provide tangy greens when nothing else is growing. This perennial herb thrives in zones 3 through 8 and once established, comes back year after year, providing some of the earliest spring greens you'll harvest. The Amish have grown sorrel for generations because it requires absolutely no care once planted and provides greens from early spring through late fall. November is actually the ideal time to plant sorrel seeds because they need cold stratification to germinate well, and winter weather provides this naturally. Scatter seeds on prepared soil and barely cover them, as they need some light to germinate properly. Sorrel's lemony flavor comes from oxalic acid, which makes the leaves perfect for soups, salads, and sauces that need a bright, acidic note. The plants are completely pest and disease-free, and actually prefer poor soil where other vegetables might struggle. What's remarkable about sorrel is it stays green under snow and can be harvested even in the dead of winter if you brush away the snow cover. The Amish particularly value sorrel for its medicinal properties and use it as a spring tonic after long winters. Coming in at number 8 is kohlrabi, with white Vienna and purple Vienna varieties being the Amish favorites for November planting. This unusual stem vegetable that looks like a green or purple alien spaceship is ready to harvest in just 8 weeks, making it one of the fastest crops on our list. Kohlrabi thrives in zones 3 through 9 and actually develops the best flavor and texture when grown in cool weather, never getting woody or tough like summer-grown plants. The Amish have grown this for generations because it stores beautifully in root cellars and provides a crisp, sweet vegetable that tastes like a mild sweet turnip crossed with cabbage. Plant seeds 1/4 inch deep directly in the garden now, and they'll germinate even in temperatures as low as 40 degrees Fahrenheit. These plants are incredibly cold hardy, surviving temperatures down to 20 degrees without protection once established. Kohlrabi is virtually pest-free in cool weather and requires no special care beyond basic watering during dry spells. The leaves are also completely edible and can be cooked like collard greens, giving you 2 vegetables from one plant. What makes November planted kohlrabi special is it can be succession planted every 2 weeks through winter in mild climates for continuous harvest. The 9th forgotten vegetable from Amish gardens is skirret, a perennial root crop that's been cultivated since medieval times, but has virtually disappeared from modern gardens. This remarkable plant produces clusters of sweet, finger-thin roots that taste like a cross between parsnip and potato, thriving beautifully in zones 4 through 9. The Amish value skirret because once planted, it returns year after year, producing more roots each season without any replanting required. November is the perfect time to plant skirret seeds because they need cold stratification to break dormancy and germinate properly in spring. Plant seeds 1/4 inch deep in rich, moist soil where they can grow undisturbed for years as these plants get better with age. Skirret tolerates partial shade better than most root vegetables, making it perfect for planting under fruit trees or in less than ideal garden spots. The roots are ready to harvest after the first hard frost when their starch converts to sugar, creating an incredibly sweet flavor. What's fascinating is that skirret was once considered so valuable it was used as currency in medieval Europe. The Amish harvest only what they need, leaving some roots to regrow, ensuring a perpetual harvest from the same plants. Our 10th November vegetable is Jerusalem artichoke, with varieties like Fuso and Stampede, producing prolific harvests of nutty, crunchy tubers. These perennial sunflowers thrive in zones 3 through 9 and are so hardy the Amish consider them nearly indestructible once established. November planting of tubers gives them time to establish roots before winter dormancy, resulting in massive harvests the following fall. The Amish grow Jerusalem artichokes because they provide reliable food security, producing up to 20 pounds of tubers from a single plant without any care whatsoever. Plant tubers 4 inches deep and 12 inches apart in any soil type, even heavy clay or sandy soil where other vegetables fail. These plants grow 8 to 10 feet tall and create an edible windbreak or privacy screen, while producing beautiful yellow sunflowers that attract beneficial insects. Jerusalem artichokes contain inulin instead of starch, making them perfect for diabetics and anyone watching their blood sugar levels. The tubers store best left in the ground and harvested as needed through winter, staying crisp and fresh under mulch even in frozen soil. What many gardeners don't realize is that Jerusalem artichokes also produce edible leaves and flower buds similar to regular artichokes. The 11th Amish secret is Cardoon, varieties like Porto spineless and large smooth, producing massive thistle-like plants with edible stems. This Mediterranean native thrives in zones 7 through 10, but can be grown as an annual in colder zones when planted in November for spring harvest. The Amish in warmer regions grow Cardoon because it provides food during the hunger gap, when winter vegetables are finishing and summer crops haven't started. Plant seeds half-inch deep in rich, well-draining soil, giving each plant at least 3 feet of space since they grow enormous. Cardoon stems taste like artichoke hearts when blanched and cooked, providing a gourmet vegetable that costs $20 per pound in fancy restaurants. The traditional Amish method involves tying the leaves together in fall to blanch the stems, making them tender and removing any bitterness. These plants are completely drought tolerant once established and actually prefer lean soil, requiring no fertilization or special care. Cardoon also produces stunning purple thistle flowers if allowed to bloom, which are edible and can be used like artichoke hearts. The roots are also edible and were used medicinally by the Amish for digestive issues and liver health. Number 12 on our list is Lovage, a perennial herb the Amish call Maggie plant that provides celery flavor year-round. This incredibly hardy plant survives in zones 4 through 9, coming back stronger each year and eventually forming massive clumps 6 feet tall. November planting gives Lovage seeds the cold stratification they need, plus the long cool period required for developing their deep taproot system. The Amish grow Lovage because one plant provides enough celery-flavored leaves, stems, and seeds for an entire family, replacing the need to grow finicky celery. Scatter seeds on prepared soil and barely cover them, or plant root divisions 4 inches deep if you can source them from another gardener. Every part of Lovage is edible and useful, from the leaves in soups, to the seeds as a spice, to the roots as a vegetable. This plant is completely maintenance-free, pest-resistant, and actually improves soil by bringing up nutrients from deep underground with its massive taproot. Lovage leaves can be harvested even in winter in mild climates, and the plant provides some of the earliest spring greens available. The Amish also candy the stems like angelica and use them as a digestive aid after heavy meals. The 13th forgotten vegetable is Good King Henry, a perennial spinach that was once common in every Amish garden, but has nearly vanished today. This incredible plant thrives in zones 3 through 8 and provides nutritious greens from early spring through late fall without any replanting required. November sowing gives seeds the natural cold stratification they need, ensuring strong germination when temperatures warm in spring. The Amish value Good King Henry because it produces edible shoots like asparagus in early spring, spinach-like leaves all summer, and edible flower buds and seeds for additional harvests. Plant seeds 1/4 inch deep in rich soil where plants can remain undisturbed for decades as they get more productive with age. This forgotten vegetable tolerates partial shade and poor soil where other greens would fail, making it perfect for difficult garden spots. The young shoots can be harvested and cooked exactly like asparagus when they emerge in early spring before the leaves develop. Good King Henry is completely pest and disease-free, requiring absolutely no care once established beyond occasional harvesting. The Amish particularly value this plant because it provides greens during the spring hunger gap when stored vegetables are running out. Our 14th November vegetable is Amaranth, with varieties like Red Garnet and Golden Giant, providing both nutritious greens and protein, rich grain. This ancient crop thrives in zones 5 through 10 and has been a staple in Amish gardens for generations, valued for its incredible versatility and nutrition. November planting in mild climates or under protection allows Amaranth to establish slowly through winter for explosive spring growth when temperatures warm. The Amish grow Amaranth because it produces more nutrition per square foot than almost any other crop, with leaves containing more iron than spinach and seeds providing complete protein. Broadcast seeds thinly over prepared soil and barely cover them since they need light to germinate properly. Young amaranth leaves can be harvested continuously like lettuce, while mature plants produce stunning red or golden seed heads containing thousands of tiny, nutritious seeds. This plant tolerates drought, poor soil, and heat better than any traditional vegetable, making it incredibly reliable even in challenging conditions. The seeds can be popped like popcorn, ground into flour, or cooked as a grain similar to quinoa, but with better nutritional value. Amaranth self-sows readily, ensuring you'll have volunteer plants every year once established in your garden. Our final forgotten vegetable is black Spanish salsify, specifically the Black Knight variety that produces dark-skinned roots with pristine white flesh. This heirloom root vegetable thrives in zones 4 through 8 and requires the long, cool growing season that November planting provides perfectly. The Amish have preserved this variety because it stores better than regular salsify and develops an incredibly complex flavor after experiencing multiple frosts. Plant seeds half-inch deep in loose, stone-free soil that's been worked at least 14 inches deep to accommodate the long tapering roots. Black Spanish salsify is unique because the roots continue improving in flavor for up to 2 years if left unharvested, getting sweeter and more tender with age. The roots can reach 18 inches long, but remain tender throughout, never getting woody or fibrous like many root vegetables. This variety is completely immune to pests and diseases, requiring zero maintenance once planted beyond basic weeding when plants are young. The Amish harvest these roots throughout winter by simply digging them as needed, as they're perfectly preserved in frozen ground. What sets black Spanish salsify apart is its ability to grow in poor, sandy soil where other root crops fail completely. And now for the bonus tip Amish gardeners have used for generations to store root vegetables all winter without electricity or refrigeration. The secret is creating an in-ground root clamp right in your garden using nothing but straw, leaves, and old boards. After your root vegetables experience a few hard frosts for maximum sweetness, trim the greens to 1-inch stubs and layer them in a shallow pit lined with hardware cloth to keep rodents out. Cover the vegetables with a foot of dry straw, then add a fauche on a layer of leaves, and finally top with boards or metal roofing to shed rain. Mark the location with a tall stake so you can find it under snow, and you can harvest fresh vegetables all winter by simply lifting the cover and taking what you need. The Earth's natural insulation keeps everything at the perfect temperature and humidity without any electricity or maintenance. This method works for every root vegetable we discussed today and keeps them fresher than any modern refrigerator ever could. Thanks for sticking with me through the entire video. If you found this helpful, give it a like, subscribe for more gardening tips, and check out our other videos on growing a better garden.